Okay, so Vedas, the privilege of humanity. So since Bhagavad Gita is actually based on Vedas, so we need to understand a little bit about that. All right. The verse from Bhagavad Gita, which is the highlight this topic, is this Karma Brahmodbhavam Vidhi Brahma Aksharam Samudbhavam Tasmat Sarvagatam Brahma Nitya Yajna Pratishtitam. Regulated activities are prescribed in the Vedas, and the Vedas are directly manifested from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Consequently, all pervading transcendence is eternally situated in the acts of sacrifice. Okay. What does Veda generally mean? What comes to your mind when somebody says Vedas? So even in this picture here, right? Generally, people think of somebody doing some sacrifice, fire sacrifice, like yajna or homa, like that. So
Veda was the
the
ones that
Pandit.
actually were the holy scriptures that came in during the churning of the ocean, right? So that is where actually, at least I heard that the Vedas kind of originated. It was one of the output that came in with the other things that came when the ocean churning happened, right? And yeah, those are the the holy scriptures that we all have to adhere to.
No, the Vedas are even older than that. So Vedas actually came as it was actually blossomed in the heart of Brahma
Hmm.
first. So when Brahma was first came from the navel of Vishnu. The navel of Vishnu, lotus flower is rising and goes all the way to the top of the universe, and there Brahma is born. So Brahma is born without any so-called mother. So it's directly manifesting from Lord Vishnu. And first Brahma doesn't understand where he is. So he just is looking at all directions. That's why he got four heads. And then he hears a voice called as Tapa. And he understands tapas means do some austerity. So he does deep austerity meditation. Then pleased with this austerity for many thousands of years, Lord Vishnu manifests Brahma in his heart. So it is said in the Bhagavad, in the first verse of the Bhagavatam, it is there. Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaye Muhyanti Yat Suryaha, which means that Adi Kavi. So Brahma is also called as Adi Kavi because it was manifested in his heart. So Vedas are already there in the eternity of creation. And it is there as a sound vibration. It's called Shabda Brahman. Brahman means the transcendental knowledge. Shabda means it's there in the sound vibration. So it is there in sound vibration, eternally there in the echoing all throughout the universe. So
Can we call Vedas as like eternal knowledge? Like
yeah, Vedas means knowledge. The word Veda itself means knowledge.
Mhm.
In Sanskrit,
So
in
mhm.
order to say I know, I understand, you should say
Yeah.
Aham Vedami Vedami. It means knowing that, telling that I understand. So Vedas itself, the word means understand or know, knowledge.
Yeah.
So
So Karthik, like you were saying, right? Like they came out of from the churning of the universe, right? During
Yes,
Manthan, the great
yes,
Manthan, right?
yes,
So they must have existed before that Manthan happened, right? That's why they came
yes.
out, right?
That's my yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So that means they're eternal, right?
yes,
It's like the original knowledge, so to say, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, it is manifesting from the breath of Mahavishnu.
Mahavishnu. Okay.
Yeah, that's the origin of the Shabda Brahman.
Hmm.
When there's exhalation and inhalation,
Hmm.
that time that sound vibration is manifesting.
Okay.
It's difficult to imagine, but yeah, we can.
Correct.
I'm just
Correct.
repeating what is there in the Upanishads and
So, so when we say vibration, right, what exactly do we mean by vibration? Like me talking to you right now is vibration, right? Like, I'm
right,
going
right.
over Zoom
Vibration like that.
over internet, right? Is vibration basically, right? Like vibration of electrons, right?
Yeah, it's
So,
electromagnetic wave.
right. So in other words, like, we received a transmission somewhere and then somebody wrote it.
Yeah,
Like,
it is echoing all throughout the universe, originating from the breath of Mahavishnu.
okay.
So the eternal knowledge is always there. It was never created, but it was first written down by Vedavyas in the previous
Hmm.
yuga, in the end of the Dwapar Yuga, because he knew that the Kali Yuga people will not be able to pass it down, just remember. Due to that,
Mhm.
everything was the great rishis listened from the ether, and then they taught to their disciples, and that's how it's originated, the education of Vedas. And the disciples taught to their disciples, and that disciples taught to their disciples. So like that, the parampara system was maintained. But in
I see.
Kali Yuga, since Vedavyas knew that it's all going to be complete confusion, chaos, so he decided to write it down, listening to the ethereal vibration, and he wrote down the Vedas. And he also wrote down a commentary on the Vedas called Vedanta. So Vedanta is actually the commentary on the Vedas. So his conclusion on what actually Vedas try to say. And Bhagavad Gita is the summary study of the Vedanta, end of the Vedas. So in one sense, it is the complete churning of Vedas results in Bhagavad Gita. Sarva Upanishado Gavo Dogda Gopalanandanaha Partho Vatso Sudhir Bhokta Dugdam Gita Amritam Mahat. Just like churning of the cow produces milk, and the milk is nourishing. It is first given to the calf, then it is partaken by others. Similarly, the churning of the Vedas results in Bhagavad Gita, which is first given to the calf Arjuna, and then it is partaken by other intelligent people of the world. So that is the conclusion of Vedas in the by Shankaracharya. So we'll continue from here. So what did this one means? Karma Brahmodbhavam Vidhi. So what is the Brahma Udbhava? Means it is beginning from Brahman or Shabda Brahman here. Shabda Brahman means Vedas. The Vedas point to karma or one's duty. Brahma Aksharam Samudbhavam. And it is the Vedas itself is originating from Brahma Akshara, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or Krishna, in other words. I said Mahavishnu. So Mahavishnu is Brahma Akshara. Akshara means that which does not get destroyed, or whom cannot be explained by any words. So
It is
Akshara,
Akara or Ankara, Brahmankara.
the printing is wrong.
Printing is wrong. Okay.
If you go to the 3.115
Mhm.
Bhagavad Gita, so you will see this is uh, Sanskrit written in English phonetics. So that's why it is coming out wrongly.
Okay.
So Brahmakshara means, Akshara means starting from A to all the way to Ksha.
Mhm.
So Brahmakshara means The Brahman cannot be explained by any of the words A to Ksha, or any words which is formed by combination of letters. So Brahma Ksharam Samudbhava means it is actually coming from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who cannot be described by words. Tasmat Sarvagatam Brahma means, Tasmat means thereafter, Sarvagatam Brahma. It is all pervading. The sound vibration is all pervading. The Nityam Yajna Pratishtitam. It is manifested in Yajna or sacrifice. Acts of sacrifice. So this acts of sacrifice is closely connected with karma or duties. Duties prescribed in the Vedas. So duties prescribed in the Vedas is connected to yajna or sacrifice. Because duty itself is a kind of sacrifice. For example, you have to work. Why do you work? Of course, you work for a higher cause, that you have to earn money for, and provide you for a future example. So sacrifice. You're sacrificing your present for the future. And similarly, there are prescribed duties in the Vedas. That's everybody has to do this and do that, which is there in the Vedas. So which says that a Brahmana should do these things, a Kshatriya should do these things, a Vaishya should do these things, and Shudra should do these things. And there is something that is common for everybody. And there are some things that is for our spiritual well-being, some things for our material well-being we have to do as a duty, and something we have to do as a duty for welfare of society. For example, like different things. For example, there is something called as 5 principal duties towards 5 principal objects called as Pancha Mahayagya. So this is duties towards one's um, relatives, for example, like parents and family members. So it is there in the Srimad Bhagavatam also. It says that mm, Deva Rishir Bhutapta Nranam Na Kinkaram Na Rinicharajan. So everybody has a debt, DEBT, debt towards Deva, because Devas provide sunlight, they provide air, clean water, for example. And then Rishis provide knowledge by writing down the Vedas. And then other Bhutas, Bhutapta, means other living entities like cows provide us milk, or some plants provide us food. And then Nranam means general, common people, part of society. So they all help us with different things. Like you are able to drive on the streets because there are roads provided. And who is building the roads? The government is building the roads. And how does the government sustain? Everybody's paying taxes. So like that, there is society is also providing us many things. Bhutaptanam cha kinkaram. Kinkara means our family members. Rini Charajan. So everybody has debt towards this five people. In order to discharge the debt, we have to or service the debt, service the mortgage. You have to pay principal and interest in form of yajna. So you have to do yajna, sacrifice for the welfare of living entities, for pay taxes for the government, for example. And so for everybody, we don't need to pay taxes. We have to do morning prayers, afternoon prayers, evening prayers, like that. So if we don't do all those things, then the debt is not serviced. Then our interest goes higher and higher. and we are eventually held accountable for that, and we have to suffer the reactions of it. So we all need to service the debt that we have. There is no choice there. Similar to our example in the material world, just like you don't pay your taxes, the government comes behind you, IRS comes behind you, and they increase the penalty, they increase the taxes for you. And you don't pay the bill, then the bill keeps increasing, goes all the way to the court, and the court gives a judgment, and you have to pay to service that. So all those things are there in the spiritual realm also. So we have a duties towards certain things, and the duties have to be serviced. If not, we become obliged and we incur penalties. All right, let's go further. See what more is there. So I'll read the
I think
first
Krishna,
paragraph,
only
then
one, sorry to interrupt. The only thing that I also read is one of the five in this also is Pitru. Is that your understanding also? That we have to, we are indebted?
yeah, you're
Ah,
right. Deva, Rishi, Bhuthapta mean other animals. Nrina means general public.
mm.
And then Kinkaram includes our current
Oh, they
family,
include,
so
okay, Pitru
previous
also.
family members. Yes, you're right.
Okay, okay. Yeah, thank you.
Pithru is more because they are they are because they help us to kind of, they are there in all the way from our childhood to youth. They provide us the what do you call um, a purpose to live, and they provide us for our material well-being also. They take care of, they give us food, they make us grow, and they have this Kula Dharma also, and they give us some purpose to live. What we need to do and all the education, everything is given by them. So we become more debt indebted to them. You're right.
Yeah, thank you.
Current family members also, like our, for example, current, mainly of course our parents, and but little towards the forefathers also, towards, as you rightly said. But we are mostly
Yeah,
indebted to our parents because they gave us everything
parents.
so far,
Correct.
and to some extent to our wife and children. But they are
Yes.
also part of our life. They share our life. So we have a debt towards all of them, and at least the family debts get serviced on a daily basis. We buy them things, we take care of the children and things like that. But the parents, we have to specifically put some effort towards that. Like you have to take care, make sure they are happy, they are taken care, they are well to do and things like that. And forefathers, we have to cater by doing the ablutions to them yearly, whatever, monthly or whenever that Paksha and all is coming, those days we need to do it to them in order to please them. And yeah, but beauty is that all these are serviced if somebody renders service to Krishna. That is a particular verse that I was talking about. Deva Rishi Bhutapta Nrinam Nan Kinkaram Narinicharajan. Um, this is O Rajan or King. This is who is speaking this? This is Sukarishi. Sukadeva Goswami. Sukarishi is telling to Maharaj Parikshit that, O Rajan, all this Rina is getting automatically taken care. Gatho Mukundam Parihatya Kartam. If you do service to Mukunda, you get deliverer. Mukunda, the word Mukunda means one who can deliver liberation. So you get liberated from all these things, all this Rina, if you serve Mukunda directly. So he is like the root of the tree. If you water the root of the tree, the nourishment reaches everybody, and your debt is serviced with that way. So that is a beautiful verse from Bhagavad. All right, we'll start reading. The word Veda means knowledge. one cannot put a date to wisdom. The Vedic literature is a vast body of knowledge comprising of about 100 million Sanskrit verses. I think Mahabharata is like 1 lakh verses, and Vedas is even much, much bigger. But we don't have the entire body of Vedas available to us. So what we have is only about 6% of the Vedas that still exist today. Beginning of Kali Yuga, obviously, Vedavyas wrote the entire thing, but it is not extant today. So because of many reasons. All right, let's continue.
So one question about debt, right?
Yeah.
Like from what it sounds like, right? You are never done with the debt, right? It's always there. It will always be there, right? It only like, you know, you only get absolved of your debt, or maybe you still have debt even after you are dead. Right?
Yes.
You're indebted to someone or something all the time, right?
Yeah, but it is difficult to service the debt also. So yes, for example, we're eating food, and the eating food comes from plants, for example, and there is sunlight, and there is air, and there is water, all responsible for the plant to
Yeah.
grow, to give us
I
food.
mean, by that logic, like when I die, they have to burn my body, they have to use wood, right? So I am indebted to that tree, right? From where the wood came, right?
Yes, yes, you're right. The debt will
And
never
that
be
debt I cannot clear, right?
fully
Even if I
cleared.
cleared everything, that debt cannot be cleared
Yes,
because I'm no
can be
longer alive to
partially,
clear that debt.
partially, but you're absolved of the debt if you serve Krishna. Just you surrender your life to Krishna in following the the process that is enlightened in the Bhagavad Gita. As much as you surrender, that much you are less debted. You are relieved of debt. Krishna
Hmm.
says in Bhagavad Gita that in the Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. So you abandon all the varieties of religions, surrender unto me, and Aham Tvam Sarvapapavya Moksheshami Masuchaha. I will deliver you from all the sins. No doubt, there's no doubt in this. So the point here
So are
is
we
that
saying that,
one has to serve Krishna.
are we saying like are we relating the sin and debt as one and the same thing?
And I didn't hear that properly.
I was saying like, are we relating the sin and debt as one and the same thing? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear. Krishna, I think the question is, are we relating sin and debt as the same thing?
They are the one and the same. You're right.
Okay.
The sin, the debt, not.
You're breaking up, Krishna.
Okay, I'm trying to repeat. The sin is the product of the debt not being cleared.
Hmm.
But let me continue reading. They contain all by man. They deal with mundane necessity, which contain regulate principles of knowledge, political, religious, economic, military, medicinal, chemical, physical, metaphysical, and other subject matter, and above all specific directions for spiritual realization. So Vedas is a very vast body of knowledge. It contains a lot of different things. So it is very easy to get lost in the big tree of Vedas. So the Bhagavad Gita also is compared to be like a banyan tree. So Urdu Moolam Adashakam Ashwattam Prahuravyayam Chandamsi Yasya Parnani Estam Veda Sanavedavit. So it is compared to an inverted banyan tree, the whole world, where the the leaves of the banyan tree are the Vedas. And so one can do different things and they can get lost. Like, for example, Ravana, he was born to a Brahmana father, but he wanted to utilize Vedas for his own boosting his own false ego. So for example, he learned how to control, how to do tapasya to Brahma in order to get some benedictions. Um, he learned different arts in order to kind of uh, influence for his own well-being. So like that, he's a good example of somebody who used the Vedas to help himself. Not
Like
kind
an
of,
evil genius in cartoons.
yeah, kind of utilizing the whole body of knowledge in order to use it for his welfare. And he was so selfish and so self-centered that it would affect everybody else. So eventually, the god had to come. So it's very easy to get lost in the body of Vedas. So one is not really recommended to directly go to Vedas, but instead come to the Itihasa Puranas. So it's Itihasa Purana Abhyam. So Vedas will bewilder you, but whereas Itihasas and Puranas, they tell you the story, the Vedas in the story form, for us to understand and grasp the essence of Vedas. Bharata, Ramayana are great Itihasas, and Bhagavad Gita also comes within Ramayana. Also, there's a lot of lessons to learn, and the Puranas also are great storytellers to make us understand what Vedas are. So, the Puranas, if somebody tries to understand Vedas, they will be bewildered for sure. They will not really be able to grasp the essence of it. Okay, so I finished one paragraph, but we did discuss a lot of different things. Questions so far? Any questions so far?
So like how do we like basically relate whatever we learn in Vedas to what we are supposed to do today, right? And like I'm just
The
trying to think. For
matter
example,
of
politics, right?
chapter.
Like take an example of political, right? The politics of then, does it apply to politics of today, right? You know, or like economic,
Uh,
for example, right?
yes and no. I mean, the politics is not much different. Politics, especially if you look at the bad aspect of it, is mostly self-centered. Um, what do you call it? Efforts for centered gratification. So you do things in the name of government and so on and so forth, but eventually the by one's own
I mean, back in those days, like
both
I mean, you didn't like someone,
Mahabharata
you chop
also
his
this
head off,
politics is
you know. So
right. Very right.
we don't do that today, right? It's just like
It's all continuing in different ways. Even today, that
hmm
is happening. People who don't like some person, so they are blamed for something and they're put in jail.
yeah.
Wrong cases are foisted on them and they're put in jail. So whether you kill him or put him in jail, it's all the same thing. Basically, you want to maim other people's. You want to shut the other people's mouth and continue to do your own
Yeah.
grand agenda. That's generally what politics has become. And that's there in Mahabharata, that's there in Ramayana, previous yugas also, it is there. It was there. The concept is the same. So
Yeah.
Kauravas, they were not really very much interested in welfare of the people. They are more interested in their own self-aggrandizement. What can I do in order to make myself more powerful? And what can I do in order to make myself more rich so that I can enjoy? So that was their motive. So that motive is not changed, although it may be more sophisticated in this age compared to Dwapar Yuga. The hypocrisy and cheating propensity might be much more subtler or much more deeper, but it's the same concept there.
Yeah, very well said, Krishna. I completely agree.
Yeah. I mean, it looks more interconnected than it was probably back then, right? That's what I would say, in terms of um, like all these different things. For example, right? Like if you needed knowledge, for example, you did penance to Brahma. Brahma gave you this power, right? And now, like nobody can take that away, right? Like if I if I if I kind of put that in today's perspective, right? I go to university, I learn, I get a degree, right?
Hmm.
I learned some specific skill. I think that the university here becomes Brahma, right? you know
Right.
like I get a job somewhere, right? And then maybe I don't know, building something like a time atom bomb or whatever, right? you know
Right.
something of that kind,
You're
right?
right.
you know
Principles are the
so
same
yeah.
then and now.
Yeah, take an example, for example, like Facebook. Like Mark Zuckerberg went to university, you know built Facebook and then destroyed the world for it, right? you know like
Right.
and so like all the other systems that he has work for him right now, right? Like lawyers, so politics, right?
Yeah. Good question. Nice conversation today with you, Shailendra. Thanks for that, adding to the discussion. So we will stop here today and we'll continue next week at the same point.
Krishna,
Yeah.
I just wanted
Um,
to tell one thing about the Vedas and everything you said, right? I was
yeah.
going through, the Rudra. In that also, in the beginning, they say Veda Shastra Tattvagno Yatra Yatra Ashrame Vaset Iha Iva Loke Tishtan Sa Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. So it also tells the same thing. Wherever people who know the Veda, who know the Upanishad, they exist. So it's going to be heaven on earth kind of this one. So I think the kind of they all say the same thing, and that you have to learn Vedas, which is our the root, right? Which as you said originated from Mahavishnu. So we all
Right.
have to learn the essence of that.
Yeah, you're right.
Karthik, I think we also learned something, right? That Vedas in the wrong hands are as
Yes,
bad,
yes, yeah. I think Krishna explained it very well. Yes, but that's true also. Yes.
right? So I think like maybe at some point, maybe that's why they stop teaching Veda to everyone, right? Because people didn't knew what to do with it, and maybe they ended up using it for the wrong reasons, right?
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Quite possible. Yeah,
So maybe
quite
that's why
possible.
the Vedic knowledge wasn't like basically people stopped giving, or like whoever the teachers were, they were like, okay, you are not worthy of learning it, for example, right?
Yeah, it's a gradual degradation. So it
Yeah.
is, that's how this Kali Yuga is designed. So the
Hmm.
all the good things will, whatever was at the beginning of Kali Yuga will slowly wane till the point of
Yeah.
complete zero.
Yeah. And like the existence of Ravan, or demons or whatever, right? I mean, it does say that they knew Vedas, and they you know they dis- they kind of used it destructively. um
Mm.
you know the only things only it says is like there were less corrupt people back then, maybe, right?
Yes.
um you know Compared to what we have today, right? Wherein Vedas are like used as a tool of destruction rather than
Even to some extent,
mm,
Ravana was God fearing. He
Correct.
feared
Yes.
Shiva or somebody.
Yeah.
He feared Brahma, he feared Shiva, and so he was God fearing. But these days, as the Kali God advances, the nobody is God fearing also. They think there is no
I mean,
God.
does that mean like God is less powerful? You know, you
No,
know,
he's just not in present in front of us, but he's there everywhere. But he's just not manifest in our eyes in
no, I
order to
understand,
point.
right?
Yeah.
But but then I mean, does that does like for example, if the God isn't like really watching over us right now, right? Like maybe he's somewhere, right? Does
So
that
he's
sort of
watching over, definitely.
yeah, but
Krishna
like
says that in
not
the Bhagavad
stopping us, right?
Gita. Also.
Not stopping us from doing weird stuff, you
No,
know?
he's kind of permitting us. Two things
Yeah,
that
yeah. So that's
God as
that's what I don't
Paramatma
understand about.
does.
That's what I don't understand about this, right? Like we say God's gonna you know take you you know take you or make you accountable for what you do, right? Like but I wish God did that in this life rather than in afterlife, Right?
No,
So
even in
but
this
like
life, it is true,
mhm,
Shalendra, because
yeah.
we say action and reaction, right? So in Kali Yuga,
Mhm.
you do something bad, it comes back right to you.
No,
It
no,
doesn't wait till you go up.
I just feel that if God prevents us from doing something bad in the first place, right? So we don't have to get punished,
No, no, he
Like
gives you all the tools. You have to decide
he's saying
because
prevent,
yeah, he has given you
prevent me.
the.
It's like think of this as guardrails, right? You know, like God should have guardrails around everyone so nobody falls. You know,
It's like policing,
you should
right?
have gone.
So we don't
Correct.
want
Yeah,
to reduce God to the level of police, constantly threatening us with punishments and things. So he's there, as Karthik pointed out, he has already declared everything in Bhagavad Gita, in the Puranas, that if you do this
hmm
mistake, the Bhagavatam especially, for every mistake, what kind
but
of a
those are
suffering
not
we undergo in
guardrails.
the hell.
Those are consequences, right? I'm saying consequences are different from guardrails, right? It's like when you design software, right? You basically make the software dummy proof, which means you don't let the user make mistake,
No,
right?
he,
So
he he gives you all the guardrails. Like for example, he tells you what are the gunas like sattvika, rajasika, tamasika, and what are the consequences of having those gunas, and what should you do to prevent or to come back to sattvika guna. So he gives that's the
yeah, I
guardrail.
understand
So
about this, but this is
yes,
this is me writing that you shouldn't push this button in the user manual, right? Rather than disabling the button in the software itself, right? If you see where I'm going with this, right?
uh,
If I have a device, for example, pushing this button, like makes the battery overheat and burn, right? you know do I disable that button in my software so the battery doesn't destroy
no,
itself, right?
so basically, okay. I guess since this class is also about the essence of Bhagavad Gita, maybe when we
Yeah.
discuss that particular chapter, you will understand. But this is
hmm
specifically guardrails only, per my understanding. Maybe Krishna, you can
no, this is
kind of say he gives
I
all
won't say
the
this is
guardrails.
guarded, but this is more so having the knowledge of not going in the wrong direction, or basically having the knowledge that don't push this button, because this button is bad button, right? A
Yeah,
person not knowing would push it,
that is
right?
inbuilt, Shailendra. I think we can discuss that in the
Yeah.
next class. But as
Okay. Absolutely.
rightly Karthik pointed out, it is there in the Bhagavad
hmm
Gita and different places. But in general,
hmm
to just give you a pointed answer to that, so nothing happens without the permission of God. So Krishna says Bhagavad Gita, Upatrishta Anumanta cha Partha Bhokta Maheshwara. So I am Paramatma, I am Upadrishta, I am overseeing everything, supervising everything. And I am Anumanta, I am permitting everything. So
hmm
whatever the bad people do is also happens because of permission. God permits and God lets them do it.
So is that God's
So
will? The God wants them to do
yeah,
bad
I mean
stuff?
they have the good karma to inflict pain upon others. See, it's like you just like the politicians, they get money power and muscle power, right? And they inflict pain upon others.
But they are doing
Similarly,
by
here
God's
the
then they're
currency
doing
that sells
by
is
God's
good karma.
permission, right? So if they're doing by God's permission, that only means that like that's their punya, right?
Yeah, they are exhausting their punya.
No, not exhausting. Why exhausting? They have permission of God's, which means whatever
Yeah,
they're
because they
doing,
had punya, then
right?
God is letting them do certain things.
Hmm.
So if for example, I want to put an atom bomb on Pakistan, even if I wish,
Mm-hmm.
it's not happening, right? So that is because I don't have enough punya to really kind of command that kind of an outcome.
Correct. And like for example, simple example is if you want to eat 10 scoop of ice cream, you might enjoy the 10 scoops now, but tomorrow you should go to the hospital and suffer that consequences. So nobody will say, Shailendra, don't eat 10 scoops. But if you are saying like, for me, consequences doesn't matter, I'll do it. Then tomorrow you have to enjoy the doctor visit also. That's the kind of thing. So action and reaction.
Yeah, correct. So he allows, for example, some people are in coma stage.
Yeah.
It's not that they are
Mm-hmm.
dead. So they still have desires, they still want to do certain things, but they're not allowed to do. So that's a good
Mm-hmm.
example of how we can envision it. So the whole um, faculties of the body is rendered useless because God doesn't permit you to even eat. So you're just a living vegetable. So that is
That's a good
the
one.
outcome of permission. So some people, as we get old, also we don't have the enough degrees of freedom that we used to enjoy before. Even eating, how much we eat, and everything.
Yeah, well said.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Good discussion.
Yeah, good discussion. We'll continue next week. Thank you so
Thank you.
much, Shailendra, Karthik, and Harsha. I will share this
Yep.
video after putting it somewhere. I still have not decided,
Yep.
maybe on Facebook or something, and I'll upload it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can we end by that the sloka that you always say, Krishna?
Yeah, sure. Sorry. Thanks for reminding that. So we'll chant Hare Krishna 3 times. Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Hare.
Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Yes.
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Hare Hare.
Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama, Rama
Rama.
Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Om Tat Sat.
So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Again, interested